It's all covered in today's China Truths.
At first glance, the station is breathtaking. Gleaming marble floors, towering ceilings, the kind of grandeur you'd expect from a luxury hotel lobby. It's the image China wants the world to see. With carefully curated influencer campaigns and cinematic drone shots, the goal is clear: to dazzle the public and distract from a growing, ugly truth. Beneath the polish, something is deeply broken. Behind the glamorous facades of its infrastructure, China is facing a hidden crisis. The so-called Tofu Dreg construction, buildings that look impressive but crumble under pressure, continues to haunt even the nation's newest landmarks. And sometimes the cracks can no longer be hidden. Sometimes the water comes crashing through the ceiling. What's really happening beneath the surface of China's grand infrastructure boom? Are these isolated accidents or warning signs of a structural rot eating away from within? On June 26, 2025, Kuzhou Railway Station in Zhejiang, once hailed as a showcase of China's high-speed rail, was suddenly brought to its knees. At noon, with no rain and no storm, part of the ceiling collapsed without warning. Passengers were left shocked as a surge of water poured from above, soaking the station platform. No official cause was given. There was no investigation, no press briefing, only silence. The area was quickly cordoned off, cleaned and censored. State media pivoted to routine coverage, pretending nothing had happened. Online searches for Kuzhou ceiling collapse vanished. The response was swift, scripted, and eerily familiar. But China didn't have time to move on. Just 12 days later, on July 8th, disaster struck again, this time in Chongqing. At 4:30 p.m., authorities issued a heavy rain alert. By 6:30, chaos erupted inside Jinka Paradise Walk Mall in Yubei District. The ceiling collapsed, unleashing a violent rush of black water. Shoppers ran for their lives as murky liquid, possibly tainted with debris or sewage, surged through the halls. Two cities, two very different weather conditions, yet both buildings failed in similar fashion. Experts and citizens alike are asking the same question. If sponge cities were meant to prevent this, why are ceilings still caving in? These twin collapses, Kuzhou in dry weather and Chongqing in a storm, reveal a troubling truth. Even after pouring billions into the 2015 Sponge City initiative, many Chinese cities remain vulnerable. Designed to absorb excess rainwater through advanced drainage and permeable surfaces, sponge cities were supposed to be a solution to urban flooding. But on the ground, implementation has been rushed, underfunded, and sometimes reduced to superficial gestures. Paving over deeper problems with glossy paint. If sponge cities were truly working, why did Chengdu East Railway Station, another crown jewel in western China, suffer the same fate on July 3rd? After a short summer downpour, the station's ceiling buckled, allowing water to flood the platforms. Engineers blamed overworked drainage, but a sponge city shouldn't funnel water through the roof. It should prevent this from happening altogether. Tofu Dreg has become more than a nickname for subpar construction. It now represents an entire system riddled with flaws, shortcuts in materials, negligence in oversight, and a culture of speed over safety. What once referred to a cracked school building or a failing bridge now applies to a nationwide pattern. Behind the polished surfaces lie cheap concrete, brittle rebar, and unqualified labor. Choices that save money in the short term, but endanger lives in the long run. This isn't just about one train station or one mall. It's about trust. It's about a system where infrastructure collapses aren't freak events. They're symptoms. Symptoms of a country struggling to maintain the illusion of progress while cracks spread beneath the surface. On the same day that tragedy struck Kuzhou, another chilling discovery surfaced over 1,300 kilometers away in Beihai, Guangxi. At the sprawling Guyuan City Phase 2 complex, a whistleblower known only as Mr. G captured a jaw-dropping moment on camera. A construction worker bending and snapping a 16mm steel rebar with his bare hands. According to engineering standards, such steel should flex and recover under pressure, not fracture like dry spaghetti. Out of 4 samples tested, 2 shattered. Some could be bent, some couldn't. The inconsistency was a flashing red warning. Hidden defects inside the steel. We've dealt with this problem before, Mr. G said grimly, but somehow the lab still came back saying it passed quality tests. Certified on paper, but in reality it bent and snapped like cheap plastic. After releasing the footage, Mr. G was hit with threats and retaliation. But the video didn't lie. This wasn't engineering, it was stagecraft, where safety was replaced by illusion. Just days later, in Qingdao's Tengdao Bay, a resident had their worst nightmare come true. In the dead of night, the ceiling of their living room suddenly caved in. "This is what they call rebar," he said, filming the aftermath. "It's tofu dregs. Look at this." What was meant to be steel reinforcement was corroded so badly it had swelled and cracked the concrete from within. Steel bars and chunks of plaster littered the floor. "If we had been in that room," he paused, "it would have been a funeral, not a complaint. These aren't just freak accidents. They're red flags waving from the ruins of a national construction model built on speed, spectacle, and silence." The term tofu dreg construction once referred to shoddy work. Now it's a metastasizing cancer. It's no longer the exception. It's becoming the norm. Behind the shiny marble of train stations and the polished glass of apartment towers lie the same festering issues. Rushed deadlines, corner cutting, and corruption so entrenched it starts from the top and seeps into every level of the system. Transparency International's 2015 report revealed the urat. Over a third of Chinese companies admitted to bribing officials, often to win construction deals. Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaign, launched in 2013, promised sweeping reform. But analysts say it's more about eliminating rivals than curing systemic decay. Even insiders confirm this. A student named Zinu, whose uncle runs a construction firm, told NPR it's routine to swap premium materials with cheap ones. "Corruption," she said, "is automatic. You don't even need to think about it." Indeed, China's infrastructure miracle was built at breakneck speed, over 42,000 kilometers of high-speed rail, megacities rising overnight. But that speed often comes at a terrible cost. Architect Lisa Azu-Wellman, who's worked across China, Japan, and the US, observed that many Chinese buildings deteriorate within just a few years. Leaks, cracks, even collapses. Why? Because in China, roles like architect, contractor, and inspector often blur together. Accountability is optional. The result? Beautiful facades hiding structural time bombs. Smart Cities Dive reported bluntly, there are no real checks and balances. If a building isn't likely to fall over today, it passes. Engineers focus only on whether it stands, never on how long or how safely. Red flags like brittle concrete, faulty steel, and dodgy finishes get swept under the rug. And those who dare to speak out, they're treated like criminals. Take July 2025, when a man nicknamed Brother Qi exposed a sewage dumping scandal in Hainan. Soon after, he uploaded a voice recording, an eerie conversation laced with subtle threats. "We're just trying to understand your demands. There are no demands. Clean the river. That's it. We're under pressure too, from our leaders. It's been classified as serious. I was just there. The river's still black. Don't pretend otherwise. Brother, even criminals get second chances. You should know where to stop." It wasn't just a warning. In many cases, these exchanges end with real consequences: arrest, prison, or worse. And Liu Xiaokun, a teacher from Sichuan. After the 2008 earthquake, he dared to photograph flattened school buildings and post them online. Instead of investigating why those schools collapsed, authorities threw him into a labor camp. No trial, just a year of forced re-education. His family was repeatedly denied visitation. Promises of transparency were empty. He never refused to speak, his sister told the media, but no one wanted to hear. Human Rights in China denounced the move, saying Liu's detention wasn't just a violation of rights, it was a slap in the face to grieving families. His only crime was demanding answers. In the end, this isn't just about crumbling ceilings or fake steel. It's about a nation where truth itself collapses under pressure, where citizens begging for clean water or justice are met with silence, threats, or jail time. China's construction failures aren't engineering errors. They're warnings. Warnings about a broken system where the scaffolding of accountability has long since rusted away. In the eyes of Josh Birnbaum from the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, what's cracking isn't just concrete, it's the entire foundation of a system in decay. In 2024, he issued a stark warning. China's construction industry isn't just corrupt, it's structurally collapsing from within. Some problems can be patched, told reporters, but more and more we're seeing problems that can't be fixed at all. These fragile buildings, he says, are metaphors for China itself, shiny on the outside, hollow at the core. Tofu Dreg construction isn't limited to a few isolated buildings. It's everywhere in China, from crumbling apartment complexes with cracked walls and sinking foundations to luxury towers, with ceilings collapsing in the night. Homeowners are living in fear. Entire residential blocks show signs of structural failure within just a few years of completion. In the countryside, poorly built bridges and roads wash away in heavy rains. Even major hydropower dams, once hailed as engineering marvels, are now under scrutiny for using substandard materials. These ticking time bombs threaten not just property, but lives. For millions of Chinese citizens, their dream home has turned into a death trap. The world once spoke of a Chinese century. Today that dream is sinking beneath the rubble. Xi Jinping's grand vision, the so-called China dream, is now haunted by unfinished towers, failing bridges, and broken trust. Ceilings are falling in the homes of ordinary citizens, while those who raise the alarm are silenced or disappeared. The message is clear: appearances matter more than lives. And this tofu dreg rot, it isn't limited to residential buildings. It's spreading like a virus through dams that leak, highways that buckle, EVs made with substandard parts, and infrastructure that ages faster than it should. This isn't just a crisis of concrete. It's a crisis of conscience, one the leadership refuses to face. If you thought collapsing ceilings were the worst of it, think again. The cracks go deeper. And we're just getting started. Watch our other videos to uncover how deep the rot really runs behind China's vanishing facade.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.